ARH7 Resurgence is only a couple weeks out, and man, spoilers are dropping hard and fast. Spoiler week 1 coming at you with maybe, just maybe, a couple treats. A huge shout out to our channel members for supporting what we do here. If you want to get involved with the channel and the Dice Commando community, please consider joining as a channel member. Remember, these videos are only possible with your support. You can show that support with a like, a subscribe, and by leaving us a comment and sharing your feedback. Community first, and go Commando. Hey there, Star Wars listening folks. Happy Destiny Friday. Super excited for today's cast because, man, spoiler week. It's not technically spoiler week 1 because it kind of started like halfway through a week. But this is the first time we are talking spoilers. We had a really great episode last week with Echo, lead designer. Pretty freaking awesome. 5 spoilers. But now I get my chance to totally look over the spoilers we've seen to date from this juicy little set. And you know what? As I was doing my setup, something I realized, it is June 1st when I'm shooting this. It'll be June 2nd when it's going live, which means we're in June. This set's dropping mid-June. Carry the 7. Y'all can start doing the math. We're going to start seeing this stuff real quick. So pretty exciting times for us in Destiny land. That's right, because there's Star Wars card games, but this is the one we care about. All right, so let's just go into it, right? And again, I might want to stick around. You never know what's gonna pop up. All right, so this was the very first one we saw. Announced everything. This is Dedra Miro. I've said it here before. I really enjoyed Cassian. I'm really happy they're going very deep into Cassian. And actually, if you think about the timelines of that, Cassian hasn't been out for that long. So it's pretty good turnaround here on that, actually. They very easily could have done it on the next set to give themselves a lot of time to digest it. I mean, timelines are timelines, but it hasn't actually been that long, like in the grand scheme. But I'm an old man. Anyway, Dedra Miro, Ambitious Agent 1215 with 12 health. That's smashable. They listen, folks. Yes, they do. So 2 gun, 2 indirect, 1 discard, a resource, and a blank. Not too bad. Leader Spy. I was very wrong about, as soon as I saw that, I was like, because I had just dropped the video about I don't think that we're going to see a lot of detect and stuff. And then Spy, and I was like, oh no. But we're good. There's no detect on this one. But there is a wall of text on her. So after you activate her, reveal the top 2 cards of an opponent's deck and rearrange them in any order. Well, that's like Jyn Erso. Andrew, you love Jyn Erso. Look at the top 2 cards of your deck and rearrange them in any order. Very interesting. Then choose a deck and discard its top card. If you chose your deck, deal 1 damage to a character. So trading an unseen, well, not an unseen card, to be fair. I mean, you don't have to get rid of something that's super critical to you, right? But you're trading a non-hand card. That's a better way to say it. Non-hand card for 1 damage. That's actually not horrible because you get to choose where it goes. Not deal an indirect. You get to choose where it goes. That's pretty good on activation, right? So probably aren't doing it. I don't know. I mean, you want to get full value out of her. So if you're going to do that, you probably... But again, you get to look at both decks first. She looked really cool. I'm really, I was going to say really hot on this, but this whole male-female thing, and we're in the, the new PC world. I really like this card. Okay, that's all I'm trying to say. Oh, no malintent intended. All right, moving on. Uncharted Tactics event intel makes sense with spies. Spot a red character, so it's 0 villain. Spot a red character, reveal the top card of your deck. Then discard that card to remove a die showing a value equal to or less than that card's cost, right? So within theme, cool. All right, you can set your deck up so that you're not chucking the card that you do want, chucking a card you don't want. But then again, in a 30-card deck, how many cards do we have where we don't want? But it is kind of interesting, right? Because in theory then, in theory, right, we've always had that thing in Star Wars Destiny where you make, you get about 24 to 26 cards of your deck are your deck, and then you're running roughly 4 to 5 cards that are silver bullets or so to other decks. this is pretty cool that it lets you kind of maybe even go a little deeper into that. Because you can, like, oh, I'm going to do this. Like, I know Snake's going to play this, and I'm going to meet him at some point in the top because he keeps winning all the leagues. And good job, buddy. But I think that's pretty cool, right? You could almost get a little more specific than you would want to because you can turn that those unused cards into damage or into removal, as the case here may be. Now, I don't know necessarily about that because you're playing a card to get rid of a card for removal when you could just run removal and others say. But still, I like where they're going on that one. All right, ISP Central Office, 1-drop villain support location. After a card is revealed from a player's hand or deck, you may exhaust the support to roll a set-aside ISP Agent 14, this dude, into your pool, then deal 1 indirect to an opponent. So you get a die and 1 indirect. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right, I like it. Moving on, Imperial Rule. This card's going to see an S-ton of play. I'm super excited about this card. Also, the art on this looks fantastic. Great choice. The Death Troopers in the pack is phenomenal. Love it. All right, love everything about this card. But what does it do, Andrew? All right, 3-drop villain upgrade ability with redeploy. It's a freaking ability with redeploy. 2 indirect, 2 indirect, 3 indirect, 2 focus, resource, and a blank. Does have that blank, but it's got redeploy, bro. After you resolve this die, you may reveal the top card of your deck. If it is a villain card, deal 1 damage to a character. If it is a red card, you may draw 1 card. Could be both, because you just set up your deck when you rolled her in. Loving this one. This card's going to see a ton of play, because you're at least going to, not at least. You can run neutral cards, that's fair, right? But, like, there's a pretty good chance. This card's awesome. This card's going to see a lot of play with the redeploy, I think. But we'll see. All right, moving on. Zam Wessel. So lots of excitement in the DC Discord about this one, which I think is justified. So 9/12, yellow villain, character bounty hunter shapeshifter with 10 health. 1 gun, 2 gun, 2 gun for a resource, disrupt, resource, and a blank. After setup, this is what the Discord conversation was. After setup, choose a character subtype. This character gains the chosen subtype, right? So there's a whole rules discussion about the ordering of like rule of 2 and all that good stuff, right? Remember, it happens after. Okay. So power action, resolve this die showing a value equal to or less than the value showing on another character die, as if it were showing the same symbol as that die. Treat any damage dealt as unblockable. Now, granted, it's 1 less. But whoa, it's pretty cool, right? So most of the time it's probably 1, right? But pretty cool. It's pretty cool. All right. So I do think, at 9/12, I think probably people are gonna get creative with her, at least to start. I don't know where she'll end up landing. All in all, because unblockable damage is unblockable damage, but it's not a lot of unblockable damage. I don't know. We'll see where this ends up falling. This is not something. I'm not as excited about this one as I am Dedra. I will tell you that. But this is a very interesting card as well. Right, Bib Fortuna, his 2nd iteration, I think. The other one was the one with a special that lets you roll in. I don't know. What was his name? AOZ's favorite. Guy from Solo. I'm the worst Star Wars fan ever. Anyway, Bib Fortuna, 7/9 for 8, which is like perfect kind of for where you want this like little supporting like dude to be. Right, same die as before. Hey, pretty cool there. So focus, disrupt, resource, special, blank. After you remove this die, you may draw 1 card. After you remove this die, you may draw 1 card. I think that's cool. Special, turn a scoundrel or bounty hunter die to any side. Then if it's your die, you may resolve it. Well, we've seen some pretty neat stuff with that. There's special chaining potential. Pretty cool stuff going on there. All right, Leku warning, right? Evidently your things start tingling, I'm guessing. All right, so this is 1-drop event neutral gray. spot a Twi'lek to remove a die, then you may spot another Twi'lek to gain 1 resource. So if you run multiple Twi'leks, okay, yeah, I mean, it's cool. It fits within an archetype, right? It's like if you get like the Cham Hera thing going or something like that, you could definitely do this. It's pretty cool. All right, so I do this one. I'll put it up, obviously, right side, but in order to not screw up the slideshow, I had to flip it. So Imperial Prison Center, right? The giant honeycomb. If you ever ate that cereal, you know what I'm talking about. So claim, deal 1 damage to each character that has 1 or more of their character dice in any pool. Everybody gets pinged, right? Just claim early and just don't leave stuff out there. But and remember, this is a claim ability. So anybody can really ping you. If you're slow, you've got dice out there. I mean, if you're slow, you're probably not playing this, but like you just roll bad and they roll good, and pain on pain on pain. This is a very interesting one for very fast, like piloting decks, I would think. It's neutral red, right? So I would think red piloting decks probably run this because they can go fast and just roll 2s and then resolve them all. Yeah, why not, right? All right, another card I'm super excited about. Hunter, Bad Batch Commanding Officer, is 11-14 with 12 health. You can bet this guy's going to make it into Smash for sure. Character Trooper Leader, which you would expect all of those, I would think. It's kind of, I wouldn't have been surprised actually if they'd created like a Bad Batch keyword or something like that. I don't think it's probably necessary because they can probably build it into the cards. Clearly they decided it wasn't, but I could have seen it coming. 1 gun, 2 gun, 2 melee. He's got his knife work. He's pretty good. 1 focus, you always hate to see that, but that's kind of the trooper thing. And again, he's 11-14, right? So then a resource and a blank. After you play a red upgrade or support for the first time each round, you may draw a card. Power action. Remove this die to defeat a character with 2 or less remaining health. It's like the Obi-Wan thing, right? Freaking, this guy is awesome, right? Now, the coolest thing about this, again, we haven't seen anything else from Bad Batch yet. I should say any other characters from Bad Batch yet. But being at 14 is very interesting because it kind of implies, like, I bet we see 8-11s. That's just kind of where my head is, like going 3 wide. That's probably what I'm thinking. And then, the little girl probably is like a 7-9, something like that. Yeah, I think that's probably about right for Omega. Heck, she could even be like a 6-8 or something like that, but probably have I don't know. We'll see what they do there. I could also see her being like a plot or something like that. I'm super excited and I bet she's yellow, actually. I'm kind of thinking, maybe not. Either way, we'll find out soon enough. And that's pretty cool stuff. This guy's freaking hot. Do you know who likes this? Westar. Westar really, or I guess he likes Westar. Either way, that's pretty hot. Armory, all that stuff. All right, moving on to their ship, Marauder. So 2 drop for 2 gun, disrupt, 2 shield, resource, and a blank sport vehicle. After you resolve this die, you may place a card from your hand on the bottom of your deck to draw a card. Just a little cycling there. This is a pretty decent 2 drop. It's got 3 2 sides. Nothing super special. I think you run this if you, and again, this doesn't necessarily, at least from what we've seen, this doesn't necessarily pair with anything Bad Batch wise. So I think you probably run this in a piloting deck. I think you probably do with the 2 gun sides, the 2 shield. I think you probably run this in even like a Hera deck or something like that, maybe. But we will see. Again, we will see how it perhaps, there's folks like Tech. He could potentially do things with this. I could see, again, lots of possibility to come over the next 2 to 3 weeks. All right, and then the long game. So turn 2 of your trooper or vehicle dice to side showing a blank, then play a card from your hand decreasing in cost by 1. So that's this card screams that there's more to come. And the reason why is because this card's functionally not good, because there are many other cards out there that you can play from hand to essentially gain that 1 value, right? So there has to be something involved about turning your vice to blanks, right? Like Inquisitors had stuff like that where like you're doing something disadvantageous to yourself in order to actually get benefit out of it. So I'm thinking there has to be something more to this, because on the surface, with what we know right now, it looks bad, right? But there's no way they would have made this card, because it's like so obviously not good, that there's got to be something that fits with it, right? So hold your horses, kids. Or whatever the Bad Batch equivalent of that metaphor is. Hold your snuffle pigs, or they eat the popcorn, or whatever. All right. This card's freaking phenomenal. Palpatine, Master of Manipulation. 10-12 with 10 health. Character Leader Sith. 2 interact, 1 focus, disrupt, discard, shield, and a resource. Home Slice at 10-12 has no blanks. Okay. After setup, this character gains color blue. Makes complete sense. Being red is pretty relevant for, I don't know. Just saying. Power action, play a card. Then you may turn a character die to a side showing a value equal to that card's cost. Pretty badass. This guy's going to see a ton of play. At least early. This guy's good. Like, real good, I think. They know who else he might like that card from earlier, right? The 3-drop that lets you get redeploy, and then you can turn his items out of 3, chop somebody in the face. I'm liking it. All right. Again, like I said, the hits just keep coming. I wish I could tell you that, I probably sound like a mouthpiece because I'm pretty into like the majority of these cards, but this card's awesome. And the art on this is awesome. The black background. Love with this card. All right. Jock T. Do not have her yet, right? So 10, 13, 11. Well, I guess we have her now. Character Leader Jedi. Leader Jedi. Okay, not irrelevant. 10, 13, right? Keep that in mind. Okay, 2 melee, 1 focus, 2 reroll. Awesome. Resource and a blank. After setup, gains red. After you resolve a trooper die showing damage, you may resolve this die showing damage, increasing its value by 1. Now, it's really good, but it's not automatic, right? Because a lot of the trooper dice have, the clone die, like from Ayla, like if you're pairing it with Ayla, for example, which is definitely relevant. It's only got 3 damage sides, only 3 damage sides, I get it. But you've got a 50%, and you have to have her on damage. So, it's a 50% into a 33%. And again, you can set it up, but it's not as it's not as easy as like you would. It's not automatic. Let's just say it that way, right? That said, I really like her. The potential pairings with her are really pretty crazy. I do have to wonder if we're gonna get some other clones. Like, are we just like going like balls deep into Camino? Maybe, probably not, because we're gonna need space for the Bad Batch characters, the ones that they decide to do. Realistically, with the way the sets go, we're probably not going to get all the Bad Batch characters. They'll probably come over time. I think that's a realistic expectation, because they'd have to dump like what 5. Well, I guess you could have the sniper dude. I guess he could be neutral, I suppose. But you'd have to use up basically all your... But again, there's no rules, right? We can do what we need. But either way, it'd be cool to see her with like Domino Squad or something in the future, right? Heavy's not in the game yet, right? Perfect, like 8-11 Clone Trooper. We kind of did that whole 8-11 Clone Trooper arc. Anyway, I digress. So her lightsaber is a 1-drop lightsaber. Andrew likes 1-drop. Andrew likes 1-drops, especially in blue. 1 melee plus 2 melee. 1 resource, special blank blank. The specials deal 1 unblockable to a character, or turn one of your trooper dice to any side and resolve it. This thing is all gas. Love it. No complaints there. Love it, just like I loved Yoda's lightsaber, although this one's got blanks. But point is taken. Then Healing Touch for 0, renew 1. Spot a blue character to heal 1 damage from an opponent's character, then remove 1 of that character's character dice. This is a cool card. All right, it's perfect for like the right situations. Mill loves this. Do keep in mind that you have to remove the damage, though, in order to get the die. So like if you're pure mill, probably isn't going to work unless they're somehow getting it on their own characters, which there's plenty of ways to do that. So, to counter what I said, you're probably not running this in pure mill. But if you're running like the long game, like a Jarkai setup or something like that, where you don't care early, you're just trying to build board state, I think you're into this card. All right, next up we have, that's right, I'll go ahead and show these two together, but the Aldani thing, right? So I got these as a special bonus a couple hours ago, which is pretty awesome. Not pretty awesome, freaking awesome, because I didn't expect more because I got 5 the first time. But these were specifically given based on something I'd said earlier about missions. And as Echo said last week, they're listening, and I think they've proved that. All right, so include only if you have a partisan on your team. After setup, add a set-aside Aldani outpost to an opponent's play area after the start of the upkeep phase. If you control the battlefield and no opponent controls an Aldani outpost, set this plot aside to gain 4 resources, right? So I think this is well done, and here's why, right? It's a 0 cost plot, so it doesn't cost you anything, and you're giving them like a pretty legit die here, right? And when you bump it off, you get 4 resources, but you sacked 6 damage. And they got to hit you with it probably at least once. Or they got, maybe not hit you, but they got value off of it probably at least once. Probably twice. This is really interesting, right? Now, the other thing is what else can come from this? What else, maybe there's some supporting cards that go into this. I would think so. When you look at it on the surface, it's probably not a great trade unless there are other things that go in with this. So that's going to be something that we're definitely watching for as we go through the set. 4 resources is a lot, don't get me wrong, right? Because you can pretty much buy anything you want for at least the next round or two, because you'll have, your normal resources on top of that. So I'm really going to be watching this as we see more cards in the set. So yeah, that'll take us back to Dedra. Awesome. We're in full swing spoiler season, and they're hot, folks. They're very hot. So that'll do it for me tonight. Kind of my thoughts, running down the stuff, plus the new sexy cards. And how about this background, right? How about this background? So anyway, thank you so much, folks, for tuning in. We got a long one tonight, but hey, it's been a lot of spoilers in the last week. So thanks for sticking with me. Make sure to give me a comment below. Help those algorithms and all that jazz. Nothing else, folks. Go Commando.